Welcome everyone. Thank you for watching. Internet here. But yeah, I've been having some problems here. I don't know what, but I got it fixed and we're back on the air. So please, super chat is on, donate below, and we're back. We got some news to talk about. Going to talk about the market on the pitching, especially relievers. And as this thing sets up and loads up, with less than 3 weeks to go until pitchers and catchers report to spring, one segment of the market that's so I don't know what's going on with the left-handed pitching. All right, so we got it up. Excuse me, guys. So they got Andrew Chafin, Matt Moore, and Zach Britton. Got the Rangers, Angels, Astros, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs, and Mets are interested in their services, which is good because let me tell you, as the Yankees, we don't need him. Zach Britton, they try to make him the closer, and he said he ain't want to be the closer. And then from there, the next game that he couldn't make it as a closer, which is unbelievable, man. And they were trying to give it to him over Chapman, but they never did. Bryson, what's up, man? A little late today, man. I've been having some technical difficulties, but I got it finally working, so we're back on. Everything's good. So those three relievers bring variety of levels to different clubs and their interests. Britton, he's 35 and was arguably the best reliever in the league for an extended stretch through he entered free agency on a down note after a couple seasons lost to injury. Moore, 34, in June is effectively the opposite position of Britton, as he has length and has been fairly consistent in recent years, apart from a small sample blip in the shortened 2020 season. I don't think the Yankees would be really interested in these guys, but all three pitchers will surely interest clubs to some degree. So let's see what happens, man. But do the Yankees need a fifth starter? Yeah, they do. They got to find a fifth guy somewhere. Here's the latest on this one. Jerkison Profar is a top unsigned position player. Listen to this. With the switch hitting still lingering on the open market for opting out on his deal with the Padres, even with spring training a few weeks out, there isn't much clarity on evenly landing a spot. Now, the Rangers, Marlins, Red Sox, Astros, Rockies, and Yankees are all been loosely tied to him at points this offseason. Now, Houston and Boston have made their significant left field acquaintances. Now, Michael Brantley and Masahaka Yoshida, respectively. Colorado's report interest was fairly quickly downplayed, while Miami has since moved Jazz Chisholm Jr. into center field, thereby pushing players like Brian De La Cruz and Jesus Sanchez into the left field. It doesn't appear they're planning to further push payroll. Now, John Heyman of the New York Post reported last week that the club $1 million for the 2023 season. That'll leave them with essentially no breathing room unless they shed some money in a trade. Even in that instance, pivoting back to Profar may not be in the cards. So Brandon Cuddy of The Athletic wrote this morning, the team has been deferred by Profar's asking price. General Manager Brian Cashman indicated on MLB Network's radio over the weekend that Aaron Hicks was likely to get the first crack in left field. So I mean, that's what's going to happen. Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, meanwhile, reportedly yesterday, of the Orioles have been involved in the Profar market. The asking price might prove too rich for Baltimore's trust. I mean, his taste as well as done. So Profar would be a curious fit for the Orioles even before considering the financial implications. While he began his career as a middle infielder, he rated poorly as a defender. That was largely due to throwing accuracy issues, which peaked in 2019 when he committed 11 throwing errors from second base as a member of the Athletics. Since that year, he particularly been limited to corner outfield work. Profar picked up sporadic action on the right field side in 2021 and didn't play anywhere other than left field last year. So that's another guy they're looking at, the Yankees. I don't know if they'll get him, but it's definitely a possibility that could happen. You never know. The Yankees have always some up their sleeve, you know? So let's get into health notes. Now, Yankees righty Michael King, who has missed the final 2.5 months of the 22 season due to fractured right elbow, excuse me, tells The Athletic that he expects to be ready for opening day and anticipates being developed in the midst of a breakout season when he suffered his ill-timed injury prior to landing in the injury list. He pitched to an outstanding 2.29 ERA and with 33.2% of the opponents, a high of 40% ground ball rate and a career low of home runs in 9 innings at .53, which is great. Now, his 96.5 miles an hour average fastball is the best of his career. Now, just 3 weeks ago, with just 3 weeks to go, opening day was reported to be a slightly optimistic target for King. So his former confidence in his ability is to be ready for the season as a welcome development for the Yankees and their fans. A few more health injury updates and notes from around the league. So let's get into around the league. Reds reliever TJ Antone off-season throwing program has been slowed by forearm issue. So he might be out for a little bit. It's for the beginning of spring training. He reports that the righty underwent a minor cleanup in his heel and elbow. An exact timeline of the procedure of recovery isn't known. So let's keep going. I don't think we have any more updates other than that. Everybody else is trying to get back. Let's get into the next one. So now the big rumor is, I guess, David Peralta. Check this out. And Peralta, he's pretty hot. Now, the Yankees have been in contact with free agent outfielder David Peralta this offseason, reported by John Heyman of the New York Post. But it isn't clear whether talks are ongoing, as Heyman suggests that the Yankees look likely to roll with their in-house options in left field, meaning Aaron Hicks. Now, that position has been prominent taking point among the fan base throughout the offseason. That's due to a 2-year struggles of Aaron Hicks, who's coming off of a 216, 230, 313 showing through 453 plate appearances. Now, that marked an improvement over his 194, 294, and 333 splits between the years during an injury-riddled 2021 season, but is still below average. So he still has a lot of improving to do. Now, given the stiff competition of the Yankees are facing in the American League East, one could certainly argue for General Manager Brian Cashman and his staff to seek out an upgrade. They've been tried to find a bunch of left field possibilities that, I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to work out or not, but you know, they can find somebody. Pittsburgh has reportedly set a massive asking price in talks regarding Brian Reynolds. Minnesota dealing Kepler. His offseason still seems possible, though Heyman writes there isn't any current traction between the Yankees and Twins on the front. So I guess that isn't happening as well. Right? So they say Peralta's part of a veteran fallback containment of teams looking to augment their corner outfield by willing to meet Profar's asking price. The longtime Diamondback has a great 2018 season in which he connected on 30 home runs, but he's posted roughly average offensive numbers in the 4 years since then. So with all the numbers, 9-year MLB veteran didn't make a change in all those numbers. The shape of the production did Peralta specifically cut back on his ground balls last season, putting the ball on the dirt 33% of the time after hovering around 50% in every previous season of his career. The fly ball oriented approach looked to be resulting in better power output earlier in the season, as Peralta carried a 460 slugging mark through 87 games in Arizona. Things catered after he was dealt to the Rays, but he didn't collect a single long ball and stumbled into a 255, 317, 333 slash over 188 plate appearances with Tampa Bay. So Peralta's a low-cost veteran option during this first trip to free agency. Yet even a modest deal might prove too costly for the Yankees given their reported spending limit. Now, Heyman wrote last week the club doesn't want to surpass the $293 million luxury tax mark. That subject them to the highest penalization level on spending. Calculated the number around $293 million at the moment. Virtually any acquisition would likely push the Yankees past that threshold. So there you go. They don't want to go over that number, and they're not going to go over that number. So if the Yankees do stick to their internal left field options, the competition would figure to come down to Hicks and the youngster Oswald Cabrera. Nonetheless, Cashman struggled last weekend in an appearance on MLB radio. The veteran could have the upper hand in a camp battle. While Cashman called the situation fluid, he noted he expects Hicks will be the guy that emerges because he's still really talented and everything's there. So there you go. They won Aaron Hicks at the ending of this season. I guess I have no idea, but it's going to work out that way. So, until then, you got to like, share, subscribe. And we'll be always back with another one. So we'll be back Tuesday at 5 o'clock with some more news. Oh, shout out to the Hall of Fame introduction. Uh, Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland has made it into the Hall of Fame. So there will be a ceremony in Cooperstown this summer. So if you're planning to go to Cooperstown, remember, always get there early and have a lot of money so you can buy a whole lot of autographs. Because autographs are pretty expensive up there. So make sure you have that stuff going down. Listening, and always remember, the conversation does not end. Please comment below and I'll answer your question or comment and we'll keep talking. So until then, we'll see you in the next one. So long, everybody, and see ya.